Hello guys, what is going on? I am Nozda and welcome back to another book review. This week we are going to be reviewing Strange the Dreamer, if I can fit that in there. This is my first hardback, so what I'm reviewing anyway, I've obviously read other hardbacks, but I just like just the framing. That's all. Anyway, but let's go on with it. Laszlo Strange, war orphan and junior librarian, has always feared that his dream chose poorly. Since he was 5 years old, he's been obsessed with the mythic lost city of Weep, but it would take someone bolder than he to cross half the world in order to search for it. Then a stunning opportunity presents itself in the person of a hero called the Godslayer and a band of legendary warriors, and he has to seize his chance or lose his dream forever. There is a lot more to that blurb, but that is the only, sort of meaningful point to it, which is something, is sort of like a theme of this book, but like a TLDW, just to start off with, this book is absolutely amazing, and if you're into fantasy at all, you should pick it up. But yeah, I'm going to actually do a review. So if you've read any of my other reviews, the main thing I always talk about is a strong protagonist, and just the majority of the reviews are based on how good the characters are and how well they're fleshed out. But what I want to start this off with is how amazing and how just first of all the writing, the most beautiful writing I've ever seen. Genuinely, it's been the first time in a long time. I think the last time I was probably engrossed this much was either The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet or Prisoner of Azkaban, not Prisoner of Azkaban, Philosopher's Stone. Just the way it's written completely different from that. It's so, like, every sentence is so eloquent and so precise and to the point, but it's also got this like flow into it. It's just so beautifully written, and it goes hand in hand. It's like the style of writing fits the world that it's in, because you're with Laszlo Strange, the main protagonist. Well, there's two main protagonists in this book, and you're with him, and you see through his eyes every single sort of moment where he has gone from all these mysteries into like an entire world of mysteries in the library, and then eventually in Weep, where there's even more mysteries, and it's this constant sense of wonder where you are almost all the time engrossed in the story, just because of how amazing the ride that you're being brought along is. Just the wonder that the character feels, you mimic it. It's amazing. But yeah, I briefly talked about Laszlo Strange. There's also another protagonist. I have to actually read the name to actually pronounce it right. Sorry, I'm gonna say sorry. It might be pronounced differently. But yeah, she is the other main protagonist. I really don't want to spoil anything about this book. Usually I can be a little bit lackadaisical with some of the reviews that I do, because I do review old books usually, but this came out only like 3 days ago. Sorry this is late, by the way. It's going out Thursday night. Usually I like to review stuff on Wednesdays if you're new to my channel. But you know, Thursday is what's happening because it was such a long book. It's 532 pages long. So yeah, two main protagonists, both share a sense of longing for something that they like, something like physical, not like relationship wise. Well, that is obviously an element, but in the sense of going somewhere, like actually like geographically, and that's what really connects them as two characters. They do eventually meet, obviously. I wouldn't say that's really a spoiler, because it kind of sets that up that way, like especially after the first few chapters, the chapters start to interchange. Like it starts like a Sorry chapter, then a Laszlo chapter, and then you can see them, and then they eventually like merge together. Like they can be a Laszlo and a Sorry like paragraph in one chapter. So you can see how their worlds are so far apart, they come together much like the chapters do. And I feel like that's probably a conscious decision, as well as also it just makes sense story-wise, because the stories are also coming closer together, so it makes sense to put them in the same chapter. But yeah, just to round it off, the great protagonist, beautifully written. You feel like you are inside their minds. They don't do anything that you wouldn't do, really, from me anyway, and they are perfectly good vehicles to experience this world. So I was debating whether to actually say the name of the antagonist, because it's very, you're not sure for a lot of the time, out of all the antagonists, potential antagonists, who the actual antagonist of the book is. So I am refraining from saying the name, but I will say this person, also refraining from gender as well, is a solid antagonist. Solid. She ties in really well with the ending, which I'll just gloss over now, is one of the strongest endings I've seen. It does it right in the sense that it tells a full story while also leaving a door open to a sequel, which there will be one, because it literally says to be continued at the end. So it does it right. It's like the Harry Potter books where he like comes home from Hogwarts, but like he's gonna go back next year. It's like adventures to be continued, but you've completed the full arc of the story, which is what they've done here, and it was beautiful. It was I'm like saying so many praises of this book. I feel like I'm praising it too much, so then you won't buy it. It's pretty cheap. It's like £10, and like a lot of hardbacks nowadays are more expensive. But anyway, continue. This character, Errol Fane, I think that's how you pronounce it, is sort of a... There's loads of characters in this book, but I wanted to focus on him because he is the perfect example of how to represent a character that sort of shows conflict, potential conflict within the story, and give the reader enough empathy to sort of empathize with his reasoning and make his reasoning actually sound, and not just I'm doing this because I'm doing this, you know? Like same with the antagonist, like beautifully written, the reasons behind why that person chooses to do what they do is sound, it makes sense. There isn't just like a high school bully, or I'm bullying you because I'm bullying you, or because I'm poor, like all these standardized reasons that are sort of like cop-outs. Every single character in this ensemble cast of perfectly fleshed out characters it's a long book, a longish book, so the writers had time to do this, as well as provide like incredibly good descriptions of the world. So every single character, just this one specifically, ties in very well with the sort of the world building, and that plays a huge part into building this character and deciding why the potential conflict he may ensue on the protagonists are like reasonable in a sort of weird way, and that's missing in a lot of shorter books nowadays, and I just wanted to shed a light on that. And yeah, one final thing on the characters, they're all amazing. I can't recommend this book enough. If you love world building, great worlds, great fantasy worlds, you'll love this. If you love great characters that you just want to spend time with, you'll love this book as well. I can think of one downside to the book, which I'll talk about now. So, I mentioned this briefly at the beginning, but Laszlo is sort of the vessel at the beginning of the book to showing off the world, and it's done in a way where basically, like Weep, the unseen city, the forgotten city, is basically described in these fairy tale books, and he reads them, he builds theses on them, and other people read them and they talk about them. So when you get to the point where you see Weep, it's not described in the sort of richness that the rest of the world is, because the writer has already described it. So when you get to Weep, that sort of description, because before the in between bit, it's all character building, and that's what like makes the book flow. But when you actually get to Weep, the character building is done, and the description that should have been there when went through the gates of Weep, it wasn't, because it's already been done. So that bit of the book was a bit slow. It's why it probably took me 3 days to read instead of 2, because yesterday I only read like 60 pages, while today I nearly read 300. So, you know, that's one of the main reasons I think why that slowed me down, because of just the sort of decision behind the description process and the sort of layout of the early part of the book. but it was to also develop the character of Laszlo. But that's the only downfall to this. Like, if I was going to give it a rating off the top of my head, I'd give it easily an 18 out of 20, 19 out of 20. But I do ratings out of 20 if you're new to the channel. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is, because over the next few weeks, I am definitely unsure whether the Wednesday, Saturday schedule will continue, because they're all going to be books and some of them are going to be long. So if you're going to subscribe, please do if you want to, and you don't see in your sub box a video on Wednesdays or like on Saturdays, you'll expect them the day after. It will be incredibly rare if I miss it or go 2 days. Like this one, I've sort of like powered through. I was kind of thinking about Alone on Wednesday, but at the latest it'll be a day late. But I will try not to, because this Saturday coming, I'm almost guaranteeing it be coming out on Sunday, because I've got 2 books coming. I'm going to choose the shortest one to read. That's what I am going to say. Whichever book it is, I'll put the link in the description, because I'm not sure yet. They're both coming on Saturday, so unless like one of them's a novella that I just didn't know about. I know one of them's like 300 pages. But if one's like a novella, then I'll probably read that. But if that doesn't happen, then it'll come out late on Sunday, because I'm also working on Sunday. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this book review. Hopefully I gave some good insight and recommended this book enough, because it's certainly one of the must reads of, if not this month, this year. It's the best fantasy book I've read. Well, not a Harry Potter, obviously, but like the best. Would you class this as high fantasy? I'm not sure. The world building is great. It's the best world building. There you go. And the characters are also great. But yeah, gonna end off here, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I've been Nozda, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.